It's time to create one of the most requested tutorial today. Boom! What's up everyone? I am Nikhil from Dope Motions and welcome to this brand new video. In today's video, let's actually create a nice professional looking infographic design in Adobe Illustrator. Yes, we are back with Illustrator tutorials as well and I hope you guys will enjoy it. It's gonna be really fun, very detailed, so doesn't matter if you are a beginner or a professional, this tutorial is for everyone. I will be going over through every single step that I do in the tutorial. So yeah, with that said, let's jump into Illustrator and get started. Alright, so here we are in Adobe Illustrator. Let's start by creating a new artboard. So I'm going to go into File, New, keep it 1920 by 1080. And let's call this Info for Infographics. Hit Create. So here we have our new document. Then the first thing that I'm going to do is copy the color palette from right over here. And by the way, you can download the free project file. The link will be down in the description for that, and you can get the access to the same color palette if you want to use the same colors. So let's select the ellipse tool, and from the center I'm going to create a circle holding Alt and Shift at the same time, maybe something like this big. And for the colors, I'm going to keep it kind of a little bit off-white so we can see it more properly. Let's zoom in, select this, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl F to copy paste it onto the top, as you can see. So here we have the two layers. For select the second one, hold Alt and Shift and make this a bit bigger. And for this one, for now I'm just going to keep it darker gray. And what I can do is let's move the color palette onto a new layer. So I'm going to create a new layer, call this colors, and then basically just select them all and drag it into the layer, and then just lock this up. Okay, pull this maybe back. All right, so there we have it. Now I'm going to select the second layer that we have, or second ellipse that we have. Hit Ctrl C, Ctrl F again to copy paste it. Select the third one and hold Alt and Shift and make this a bit bigger like so. And switch into strokes. Let's give it a stroke of 10. Looks good. Go into Object, expand and hit OK. So it's gonna make them a shape instead of a stroke, and that is exactly what I want. Then what I can do is I'm gonna create a shadow for the circle so that it looks a bit more, it adds a bit more depth to it. So to do that, I'm gonna select the circle, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl F to create a copy paste a new shape onto the top. Then hold Alt and drag it holding Shift, just like so. So we have two copies. I'm going to select this one and make it kind of a darker gray, maybe something like so. Select this one and make this a complete white. Then let's select them both, go into Object, Blend, Blend Options, make this specified distance maybe 3 pixels, or let's go with actually 2 pixels. And hit OK. Go into Object again, go into Blend and make it so we have a nice blend. You can also select the direct selection tool, then select this point and move this anywhere that you want, or anywhere that you want to keep the shadows in a particular way. So hit Ctrl Z just to keep it right over here. And then I'm going to select them, go into Object, expand, hit OK. Then merge it using the Pathfinder or United. So there we go. We have this basic shape that I want to go for. And then what I can do is select the gradient and maybe create a gradient just like so, but it's not working. I don't know why, because we need to switch to gradient obviously. And then I can just create a gradient just like that. Maybe switch this up, so something like that looks good. And yeah, let's put this back. So I'm gonna hit Ctrl Shift and open square bracket to put this back, or you can just simply drag and put this back as well, but if you want to do that way. And then what I can do is select this layer, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl F to copy paste it, creating a new layer. Let's actually select these two layers, hit Ctrl actually what I can do is select this layer, hide this, then select this one, and then let's go and maybe I'm gonna divide this. All right, let's see if that is gonna work. I'm not really sure. Let's ungroup this, delete this section and delete this as well. So we just left with this particular shape. Then I'm gonna add a gradient to this. Let's select the gradient tool basically and just keep it something like so. We have kind of a drop shadow. Let's turn this on and put the path or the shadow on top of this, and yeah, there we have a nice little shadow. Now this is the way I found it out to do it. If you have a more quicker way, you can use that as well, and also do let me know as well in the comment section below. And for the for the black, I'm gonna double click and go with a really subtle gray because I want the shadows to be very subtle. And yeah, that is actually looking pretty good. Maybe I'll switch this to a radial and then switch the colors, and then I can just maybe just switch it up back again, and then I can drag this icon just like so, and that would give a more better drop shadow. Make the opacity 0 of the white and maybe a bit more. Let's select this, double click and make it a bit darker, and yeah, I think this is looking even more better, I think. So let's maybe drag it a bit more. Also select the radial blur, maybe increase the shape a bit and make this a lighter gray, something like that. Looks good. Yep, this is looking very nice. And let's actually select all the shapes except this one. So I'm going to select them all, hit Ctrl G to group them up. So we have our shape ready. Now what I can do is I'm going to select this shape, hold Alt and drag it holding Shift to create a duplicate of this. And then let's scale this down holding Alt and Shift at the same time, maybe something like this big. Pull this a bit closer, just like so. And now we can start adding up our circles. So let's select them, right click and ungroup it just to make sure every shape is on a different layer. And then I can just select this, hit I to go into color picker and maybe make this a nice blue color. Oh, not this one. Hit Ctrl Z. Actually, I'm going to select this one, hit I and select the blue color. And then I want this to be a linear color. So I'm going to set this to linear, select the gradient tool and maybe I'll drag it something like that, hit V. Then select the shadows, hit I and select this one, hit V. And let's see, there we have a nice little shadow for that. And for this one, I'm going to go with a nice white, or maybe let's actually go with a gray color. That is looking much better. And actually, I'm going to ungroup this and make this a white color. Not a pure white, but kind of an off-white. Okay. So that's that. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. Let's pretty quickly, I'm going to add some text as well. So let's select the text tool. And maybe I'll type in something like, just like the example actually. So let's type in step. And for the font, I'm going to go with one of my favorite font, that is Gotham Bold. Let's try to eyeball it into the center, make this a bit bigger. And for the color, I'm going to go with a nice gray color, just to keep it a really nice and subtle look. Okay, so that is looking pretty good. Maybe for the size, I'm gonna put this down to 14. And yeah, everything looks good. Let's hold Alt and drag this, and I'm gonna give this one a number. So let's call this 1 for now. I'm gonna change it later on and increase the size. And let's go into the character. Let's keep it at -50. All right. Then select the step again, hold Alt and drag it to create one more copy, and you can add your text. So it can be anything. I'm just going to call this your text. Maybe make this around 10 pixels. Now we can select all the 3 layers and let's align this. So I think it's this one. Yep, there we go. Let's see, that is looking much better. Let's select all of them, hit Ctrl G to group them up, then hold Shift and select the circle that we have and align it into the center, just like so. And if you don't see these tabs, you can go into Windows and there you'll find the Align and the Pathfinder as well. So that is that, and it's looking pretty good. Let's select everything and hit Ctrl G to group them up. And now what I'm going to do is from the middle, I'm going to create an ellipse, which is going to be kind of a guideline for us. So from the center, hold Alt and Shift and create a circle just like that. And then I can select this, hold Alt and drag it, creating a new copy. So I'm going to put this somewhere around there. Actually, before doing that, let's delete that and create some guides. So I'm going to select the line tool, and from the top I'm going to hold Alt and I'm going to hold Shift and drag it just like so. Make this a bit like 1 pixels. Select it, hit Ctrl C to copy it, Ctrl F to paste it on the top, rotate it holding Shift, and let's make it something like that. Hit Ctrl C, Ctrl F to copy paste it, maybe something like that. Select this, hit Ctrl C, Ctrl F, and now what I can do is actually I'm going to delete this one, we don't need that, and select the stroke or the line that we have, then select just the lines, maybe something like that, and then select the shape builder tool, and actually I'm going to divide this, so it's going to cut them up into specific pieces. I think I did it wrong, so I'm going to hit Ctrl Z. I don't want this line as well, we just need the X, so I'm going to select them and then divide them. There we go. So now it's into different pieces. Let's ungroup them and let's delete this, and I believe it's that. I should have colored this up, that would have made things a bit easier, but there you can see we have this 4 shape, and I'm gonna color them up later on. So after that I'm gonna just select this layers, and maybe I'll just change the color so we can see it more properly. I'm gonna make them a bit darker, and same for this one. Then select this, hold Alt and drag it, maybe somewhere around there, looks good. Then hold Alt and drag it, maybe somewhere around there. Okay, this is looking good. Then I'm gonna select a small ellipse and create a small ellipse just like so, holding Alt and Shift, and also make this a blue color, but this time I'm not going to keep it gradient, I'm just going to keep it a plain blue. So I can copy the color code, hit Ctrl C to copy it, and then I can just go right over here, Ctrl V to paste it and make it a bit lighter. There we go, that is looking much better. And then select a rectangle, then create one just like so, hit V and just try to put it into the center, and there we go. Let's put this back, holding Ctrl Shift and open square bracket, and yeah, that is looking very nice. Maybe make this a bit bold just like so. Okay, so that is looking very nice, and that is the look I'm going for, and this is the same exact thing. I'm going to put it on every shape. First of all, let's select them and ungroup them, and then I can just select it, hit I and get the different color that we want, then switch to linear, select the gradient tool and then drag it just like so, hit V, select the shadow, hit I, select this one, there we go, and hit V, there we go. So it's pretty simple and easy process that you want to repeat in every single circle. So I believe I'm gonna just fast forward this. Alright, so once we have that, what I can do is select this shape, and on this shape I'm gonna add a gradient, make this maybe linear. I think, yep, linear is what I'm gonna go for, and create one more point right over here. And on this one I'm gonna add the purple color that we have. So I'm just gonna eyeball this. You can write down the color codes as well if you want to, but I think I'm gonna write down the color code. So I'm just gonna select that, Control C to copy the code, go right over here, let's go and copy it, Control V, enter. And I'm gonna do the same thing with this two as well. So let's select this, Control C, hit OK, select this, Control V, hit enter. I think I'm gonna keep it as radial, linear actually. Then select the third one and make it a nice gray or blackish color. Also make this 100, make the opacity 100. There we go. Then select the linear gradient tool and let's create a gradient just like so. So there we have it. You get the idea of what I was going for. And once we have that, what I can do is actually, let's select all this stuff, hit Control G to group them up and lock this so we don't get messed up. Then select all these shapes that we created, hit Control G to group them up, right click, transform and reflect it vertically. And yeah, hit copy. That is looking good. Select this, maybe just pull this, holding shift and try to just fit it into the position. So I'm just gonna use the arrow keys. There we go. Now it's not proper, I know. So to fix that, I'm gonna select this and ungroup it first of all. Then I'm gonna firstly select the circles and ungroup them as well. Alright, so now I can select the text and maybe this should fix that. And I don't know if it's perfect. Is there a way to know that if it's perfect? Yes, I set this to 100. Yep. And the same with this one. Actually, I'm gonna just try to align this. Okay, maybe a bit to the left. All right, then we can delete them, delete the text actually, and just hold Alt and drag it, and then select, holding Shift, and align them properly into the center. Same with this one. Let's delete this. Oh, let's delete this one. Hold Alt, drag it, creating a copy, and then just put this up. Select them, align it into the center, and yeah, that is looking good. Now let's pretty quickly change the numbers. So I'm just gonna call this 4, and now you can see it's not aligned actually. I don't know why it gets messed up. Maybe it's because of the size, but let's ungroup this, select this, and align this. Control G to group them up, and also align this back to how it was. I don't think it's in the center, so I'm gonna just try to eyeball it. For this one, I'm gonna go with 5. Let's move it into the center. Okay, that is looking pretty good. And for this one, I'm gonna keep it at 6. Also using the arrow keys, I can just eyeball to align it. I'm doing it a bit fast just to keep the tutorial short, but you can take your time and try to be as precise as possible. So for this one, I'm gonna go with a nice yellow color, set this to linear, and a nice gradient. Set this to linear, and then select the gradient tool, and maybe I'll create a gradient just like so. Then select the shadows, hit I, select the shadows. There we go. For the shadows, I believe I can reflect this, so I'm gonna go right click, transform, reflect, and that is not gonna work, but anyways, I'm gonna hit OK. and then I can basically just, put it into the right direction. Same with this one. I can just right click, transform, reflect, hit OK, and then just eyeball it into the position. And by the way, you can, first of all, let's fix this. Now you can see it jumps to a point, so I can go into the view and make sure the snap to pixel is off so that it doesn't snaps, and there we go. Also make sure to go into the windows and turn on the, actually go into the view and turn on smart guides, so you get the smart guides whenever you move anything. I should have told that before, actually, at the beginning of the video. Sorry for that. Transform, reflect, hit OK, and let's place it. There we go, perfect. And then I can just change the colors pretty quick. And yeah, there we go, looking pretty good. Let's pretty quickly, I'm gonna change the colors of this strokes as well. So let's actually go into yellow, just copy the code, and just like we did before, I'm just gonna switch this to the same color. Well, not the same color, but try to keep it close to that. And then I can also color the shape that we have with the gradient, just like we did before. So all I need to do is copy the code, Control C, select that, go right over here, Control V, enter. Select this one, copy the color code, hit Control C, select this one, Control V, hit enter, and the same for this one. And there we go, looking pretty nice. Also for the strokes, let's actually unlock this, and for this one I'm gonna ungroup this and make them a bit lighter, so I don't want that gradient to be that harsh. And then I can also delete the guide, we don't need it anymore, and there we have a really nice look. The final thing that we need to do is add some text. So let's select the text tool, and I'm going to call this maybe business infographic. You can obviously type in anything that you want. I'm going to call this business, and let's go into this one and make this capital. For the color, I'm going to go with a nice gray color, maybe a darker one, and make this maybe a book. Align it into the center of the artboard, just like so. Maybe bring down the size a bit to around 41 or maybe 40. Looks good. Hold Alt and drag it, creating a new copy. I'm gonna name this Infographic. And then make them a nice bold look. Make this smaller, just like so, and go into characters and maybe increase the spacing just like that. Then select them both, hit Control G to group them up and align it into the center. There we have it. You can also add some secondary text if you want to. So pretty quickly, I'm just gonna go right over here, make this something like book, or maybe let's keep it on medium. For the character, I'm gonna set this to 0, and we don't need all caps. So you can add any description that you want. I'm just gonna go with the same example that I created. So just type in there we go. Make this a nice gray color and very small. maybe somewhere around 10 looks good. There we go. And now we can add more text beside the circle as well. So what I can do is select them both, hold Alt and drag them. And let's actually ungroup this. We don't need this one. I'm going to delete that. And for this one, I'm going to call this title 01, and also make them a bit smaller, like 34 looks good to me. Maybe place it somewhere around there. And for the description, you can again add any description that you want. So that's that. Actually, I'm gonna just move that. Select this, hold Alt and drag it, creating a new copy. This 2 is not in the center actually, so I'm just gonna select it and just use the arrow keys. Okay, let's go back. Let's do 2. Select this, hold Alt, and the same thing again. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And this is how you can design a professional looking infographic design in Adobe Illustrator. So that is a wrap for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to subscribe, comment and like, and I will see you guys in the next video. Also, before wrapping up, I would like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Graphic Design Gear, which is a very new YouTube channel. Make sure to check them out. They make tutorials on Illustrator, Photoshop and CorelDRAW. Very nice and interesting, very unique tutorials. So I highly recommend you guys to go ahead and check out that channel. The link will be down in the description, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to stay raw, stay creative. Hold up. Before you go, make sure to subscribe, clicking on that icon right there. Also, make sure to check out my latest tutorials right over here and my tutorial playlist right over there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.